Imagine this scenario. It is your first week at a new job. Maybe it is your very first day. You are sitting at your new desk, or perhaps you are standing in a busy hallway. Your new boss walks up to you. They are holding a file, or maybe they are pointing at a computer screen. They start speaking. They are speaking English, of course, but they are speaking fast. Maybe they have a coffee in one hand and a phone in the other. They are distracted. They say something like, "We need this report by EOD, but make sure you check the headers for the legacy format, okay?" They look at you. They are waiting for an answer. Your heart stops. You heard the words, but you did not process the meaning. What is EOD? What is a legacy format? You have no idea. But the boss is looking at you. The silence is getting awkward. You feel the pressure rising in your chest. You do not want to look stupid. You do not want them to think they made a mistake hiring you. So what do? You smile. You nod your head, and you say, "Yes, okay, I will do that." The boss smiles back, says, "Great, thanks," and walks away. You are safe. You survived the conversation. But now you are sitting there alone, and you realize something terrible. You have absolutely no idea what you are supposed to do. You just agreed to a task you do not understand. You have walked into a trap.
That is a terrifying situation, Sarah. I think almost everyone learning a second language has done that at least once. It is the classic fake nod. You nod because you want to be polite, and you want to keep the flow of the conversation going. It feels like the safe option in the moment, but actually, it is the most dangerous thing you can do in a professional environment.
Exactly, Mark. It feels safe, but it is dangerous, because now you have two bad options. Option one is that you try to guess what the boss wanted. If you guess wrong, you waste hours of work, and when you hand it in, the boss will say, "This is not what I asked for." Then you look incompetent. Option two is that you have to go find the boss 5 minutes later and admit you did not understand. That makes you look disorganized or like you are not listening. Both options are bad, but there is a third option. The third option is to handle it right in that moment, while the boss is still standing there. You need to clarify what they said.
But that is the hard part, isn't it? That is why people do the fake nod. They are afraid to ask. They think that if they say, "Sorry, I don't understand," they will sound like a beginner. They think the boss will get annoyed.
You are right. And to be honest, if you just say, "What?" or "I don't understand," it can sound a little bit unprofessional. It sounds a little flat. Today, we are going to fix that. We are going to destroy the fake nod. We are going to teach you 3 specific, professional, and natural ways to ask someone to repeat themselves or clarify an instruction. These are not textbook phrases like, "Please repeat that." These are the real phrases native speakers use in offices every day. They make you sound responsible, engaged, and smart, even when you did not hear a single word.
I love that. We want to sound smart even when we are confused. So we have 3 techniques to cover today. We have the speed bump, the pinpoint, and the confirmation.
That is right. Let's start with the first one. We call this the speed bump. This is for the situation we just described. The boss speaks way too fast. They mumble. Maybe it's noisy in the office. You literally did not hear the sentence. The information just flew past your ears. Your instinct is to say, "Can you speak slowly?" or "Please repeat." Mark, why should we avoid saying, "Can you speak slowly"?
Well, saying "can you speak slowly" puts the focus on your lack of ability. It highlights that your English level might be low. It signals, "I am a learner, please treat me like a child." In a business meeting, you want to be treated as an equal. You do not want to change the speed of the meeting. You just want to catch the information.
Exactly. You want to maintain the professional rhythm. So instead of asking for slow speech, we use a phrase that suggests we just missed it this one time. The phrase is, "Could you run through that one more time?"
Could you run through that one more time?
I like that verb, run through. What does that mean in this context? To run through something means to review it or to explain it quickly from start to finish. It implies a process. When you ask someone to run through the instructions, you are using professional office vocabulary. It sounds active. It sounds like you are ready to work. You just need the details again. Compare these two. Number 1, "Please repeat." Number 2, "Could you run through that one more time?" The second one sounds much smoother.
It really does. It sounds softer, too. The words "could you" and "one more time" make it very polite. It acknowledges the effort.
Let's break down the pronunciation of that phrase, because we want it to sound natural. We do not want to sound like a robot. The key link here is between run and through. run through, run through. And the end of the sentence, one more time. You usually put the stress on more, one more time. Could you run through that one more time? Mark, can you give us an example of how this sounds in a real interaction?
Sure. Let's say I am the boss. I come up to your desk and say, "Hey Sarah, we need to shift the deadline for the Alpha project to Tuesday, so drop everything else and focus on the slide deck."
Okay, that was fast. If I missed it, I would look at you, maybe lean in slightly to show I am interested, and say, "Sorry, could you run through that one more time? I want to make sure I caught everything."
That was perfect. You added a little extra sentence at the end there. I want to make sure I caught everything. That is a great addition.
Yes, that is the reason why you are asking. You are not asking because your English is bad. You are asking because you want to be accurate. You are a perfectionist. That is a good trait in an employee. So listeners, I want you to try this. We are going to practice. I am going to say a sentence very fast. I want you to wait for the silence and then say the phrase, "Could you run through that one more time?" Are you ready? Here is the sentence. I need you to email the client and tell them the meeting is moved to room B.
Go ahead. Say the phrase now.
Did you say it? Could you run through that one more time? Excellent. Now, Mark, let's talk about a variation of this. Sometimes you don't need them to explain the whole process again. Sometimes you just miss the very last thing they said.
Right. Like if they are walking away and they shout an instruction over their shoulder.
Exactly. In that case, you can say, "Sorry, I didn't catch that last part." This uses the verb catch. In English, we say catch to mean hear or understand a sound. I didn't catch that. It is very common.
It is very casual but still professional. Sorry, I didn't catch that last part. It implies that you heard the first part. You just missed the ending. It is very specific.
So that is our first technique, the speed bump. You use this when the audio simply did not enter your brain. You stop the person and ask them to go back. But now let's look at a more difficult situation. Let's look at technique number 2, the pinpoint.
The pinpoint. This sounds precise.
It is. Imagine this. You are in a meeting. The manager is giving a long update. They talk for 2 minutes straight. They talk about the budget, the timeline, the new team members, and the software update. You understand 90% of it. You understand the budget. You understand the timeline. But then they mention the name of the new software, and you have no idea what they said. It sounded like gibberish.
If you use the first technique and say, "Could you run through that one more time?" they might get annoyed. They do not want to repeat the whole 2-minute speech just for one word.
Exactly. You will waste everyone's time. You need to show them that you understood the majority of the message, but you just need to pinpoint one missing detail. This makes you look smart. It shows you were listening. The structure we use here is, I got the part about X, but what was the Y? I got the part about X, but what was the Y? Can we see an example? Sure. Let's say the boss says, we need to finalize the budget by Friday, send it to the finance team, and upload it to the Ziggurat portal.
The Ziggurat portal? I have never heard of that.
Exactly. You missed that name. So you say, I got the part about the budget and the finance team, but what was that portal name again?
Ah, I see. So you repeat the things you understood. I got the part about the budget. That proves you are a good listener. Then you ask about the missing piece. But what was that portal name again?
Yes, and notice I added the word again at the end. What was that name again? This is a little psychological trick. When you say again, it implies that they already told you, and you are just refreshing your memory. It sounds friendlier than asking, what is the name? It softens the question.
That is a great tip. Adding again makes it sound like a collaboration. So the structure is, I got the part about X, but I missed the specific thing.
Right. Or, I got the part about X, but could you clarify the specific thing? Let's try another scenario. Mark, you give me a list of times for a schedule.
Okay, Sarah, I need you to be at the front desk at 9 a.m., then check the mail at 10:30, and then meet the delivery driver at, well, whenever he arrives, usually around noon.
Okay, I heard 9 a.m., I heard 10:30, but the last part was vague. So I say, I got the schedule for the morning, but when exactly is the delivery driver coming?
And then I would clarify, oh, usually around 12.
Perfect. This technique is the pinpoint because you are pointing directly at the confusion. It saves time, it makes you look efficient. If you are a listener who struggles with long sets of instructions, this is your best friend.
You do not need to understand 100% of the sentences. You just need to identify what you missed and ask about that specific piece.
It also gives you a moment to breathe. When you start the sentence with, I got the part about, you are buying yourself time to formulate the question. It is a confidence builder.
Absolutely. Now, before we move to the third technique, I want to remind everyone listening, if you are enjoying this breakdown and you want to feel more confident speaking about your job and your life, make sure to subscribe to the channel. We take real situations like this every week and give you the exact words you need. No grammar drills, just real talk.
Okay, Sarah, let's move to the third technique. This is my favorite one. You called it the confirmation.
Yes, the confirmation. This is the pro move. This is what senior managers do. This is what confident native speakers do. This technique is not just for when you missed something. It is for when you think you understood, but you want to be 100% certain. It is also a great way to close a conversation.
So how does it work?
It involves paraphrasing. Paraphrasing means saying the same idea using different words. You repeat the instruction back to the boss in your own words to check if you are right. The key phrase to start this is, so just to double check.
Just to double check. I use that all the time.
It is a wonderful phrase. Double check means to check a second time to be safe. It shows you are careful. So you say, so just to double check, you want me to, and then you say what you think you have to do.
Let's do a role play. I am the boss again. Sarah, please take these files to the archive room, but don't file the red ones. Just leave them on the table.
Okay, that is a negative instruction. Don't file the red ones. Those are easy to mess up, so I want to be safe. I say, so just to double check, the red files stay on the table and the rest go in the archive?
That gives me so much confidence in you. As a boss, hearing you repeat it back makes me feel relaxed. I know you are going to do it right. If you just nodded and said, okay, I might worry that you will file the red ones by mistake.
Exactly. The confirmation phrase actually builds trust. It takes the anxiety away from the boss. They know the message was received. It transforms you from a passive listener, someone who just hears words, into an active participant.
What if you paraphrase it wrong? What if you say, so the red files go in the trash, and that is not what I said?
That is actually a good thing. It is better to find out right now than to find out after you throw them away. If you say it wrong, the boss will correct you immediately. They will say, no, not the trash, the table. And you say, got it, the table. You have saved yourself from a disaster.
So getting it wrong in the confirmation is actually a success because you caught the error early.
Precisely. There is no shame in checking. In fact, in English-speaking office culture, asking for confirmation is seen as a sign of intelligence. It shows you care about the details. The structure is simple. So just to double check, restate the instruction.
Can we use other openers? What about let me clarify?
Yes, you can say, let me just clarify, or just to make sure I'm on the same page. That is a nice idiom, on the same page. It means we have the same understanding. Just to make sure we're on the same page, the deadline is Tuesday, right?
I love that one. It feels very collaborative.
So we have our 3 techniques. Let's review them quickly before we do a big practice challenge. Number 1, the speed bump. What was the phrase, Mark?
Could you run through that one more time?
Number 2, the pinpoint.
I got the part about X, but what was the Y again?
And number 3, the confirmation.
So just to double check, you want me to...
Now we are going to play a game. We are going to put you, the listener, in the hot seat. I am going to act as your manager. I am going to give you a confusing or difficult instruction. You have to decide which technique is the best one to use. Mark will give you the options, and you have to speak the answer out loud. Are you ready?
Let's do it. Situation number 1.
Okay, I am standing at the printer. It is making a loud noise. I speak very quietly and very quickly. I say, hey, if the paper jams, you gotta lift the tray and jiggle the handle, but don't pull the lever or it breaks.
Okay, that was messy. It was quiet, fast, and complicated. You probably missed the whole thing. Which technique should you use? A, the confirmation, or B, the speed bump?
I will give you 3 seconds.
The answer is B, the speed bump. You missed almost everything. You need me to say it again. So you say,
Perfect. Situation number 2.
We are in a team meeting. I am assigning tasks. I say, okay, Mark, you take the design, Sarah, you take the copy, and listener, you need to contact the vendor about the catering for next week.
Okay, you heard your name, you heard contact the vendor, you heard catering, but you do not know which vendor. Maybe there are 3 vendors. You missed the name. Do you need me to repeat the whole meeting, or do you need to pinpoint?
What do you think? Say the phrase.
You should say, I got the part about contacting the vendor, but which vendor specifically should I call?
Excellent. You identified the missing information, the name of the vendor, and you asked about that only.
Situation number 3. This is a high-stakes one.
I am the CEO. I am very serious. I say, this client is sensitive. Do not email them, call them only, and do not mention the price increase until the second call.
Ooh, that is dangerous. If you mess this up, you might lose the client. You think you heard don't email, but you want to be absolutely sure. What do you do?
Use the confirmation. Say the phrase.
You should say, so just to double check, no emails, only phone calls, and no price talk on the first call, right?
Exactly. And the CEO will say, yes, exactly. And now you can breathe. You are safe. You know exactly what to do.
These phrases are so powerful, Sarah. They really change the dynamic. You are not a confused student anymore. You are a colleague.
That is the goal of this channel. We want to move you from English student to English speaker. And the biggest step you can take today is to ban the word what. I want to challenge everyone listening. For the next 24 hours, try to avoid saying what or huh when you don't hear someone, even with your friends, even with your family.
If your friend says something and you miss it, don't say what. Say, sorry, I didn't catch that last part. Or, could you say that again? Practice the smooth, polite sentences until they feel automatic.
And remember, the fake nod is your enemy. It feels comfortable, but it is a trap. When you feel that urge to just nod and smile, stop yourself. Take a breath and use one of the phrases we learned today. It might feel scary the first time, but I promise you the person you are talking to will appreciate it. They want you to understand. They want you to succeed. Asking for clarification helps them help you.
And it makes you look like a pro.
It really does. If you found this lesson helpful, please click the like button so we know to make more content like this. And if you have a story about a time you did the fake nod and it went wrong, tell us in the comments. We have all been there. It is nothing to be ashamed of as long as we learn from it.
I once nodded at a waiter and ended up with a spicy dish I couldn't eat. So yes, it happens to everyone.
See? The stakes are high. Don't eat spicy food you didn't order, and don't accept work you don't understand. Thank you so much for listening. Go out there, ask good questions, and talk about your life with confidence.
See you next time.
Bye.